Sounds good.
Okay, so I'm Donna Romero, and I'm here with Thomas Karolyi, aka Tommy
Yes.
Karolyi. And Tommy, it's really nice to sit down with you because I'm brand new to Colonial. I've only been there a year or so.
Okay.
But I know you have a long history with Colonial. So why don't we start with that? Tell us about how you got hooked up with Colonial and some of the stuff you've done with them.
So I guess I got hooked up with them through JP Timlin. He had a Facebook post that they needed some extras, and I had never done anything theater related. It's not something that I ever even considered really.
Oh, wow.
But I was kind of like, you know what the heck, we'll give it a shot. And I went, and he gave me the script, and there was all these lines and everything, and I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. I just thought I was going to be like standing out there, like holding a prop or something. And then I actually switched roles with another guy there because I was like, this is like way too many lines for me. And then I just had a blast. It was The Man Who Came to Dinner.
Okay.
So that was the first thing I did. And then from there, it just kind of snowballed. Like right after that was the Quickies. So that was my first time with the Quickies. And then after that was Pink Panther. And then after that, it was, I really, as long as I've been involved with the theater, I haven't really done a whole lot. Mostly Quickies I usually do every year.
Mm-hmm.
But then a few years ago, Sam Barrett reached out to me to play a role in The Manor out in Westchester.
Okay.
So it was like a really cool concept, it's not on stage, it's, you go throughout the house and things like that. So that was really cool. So I jumped on that opportunity and I did that for 2 years. And that was that. So, and as far as everything else with it, with the theater, just helping out when they need a helping hand. And I assistant directed with JP.
Mm-hmm.
It was last year, something like that, for Rumors. And that was a great time. It was such a phenomenal show, phenomenal cast. Like, it was just such a great experience.
Oh, very cool. So
Yeah.
you didn't do any theater before this. You just kind of got roped into it.
Yeah, no. Like I said, it was just kind of like one of those things. I was like just sitting around. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And then once I got out there, I was like, oh my God, this is really intense. So I was like really intimidated at first, which I still am. But I've kind of, I don't want to, I guess I've gotten a little bit more comfortable on stage. At least I hope so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What skills do you think you've been able to develop in theater that have kind of helped you in your outside life?
That's a good question. You know what? I'm kind of shy. So like, I could be kind of just the guy that's not as talkative as maybe some other people and things like that. So being on stage, obviously exposing yourself to a room full of people is something that was really uncomfortable for me. So now it's just made it a little bit easier, in the outside world, opening up to more people and, just, I don't want to say, I don't even really know how to say it, but, so yeah, like even this is awkward now, like being filmed. Like I hate being the
center of attention.
Center of attention. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're not. Bella is with you. She's co-starring.
Yeah, that's my little sidekick. Yeah.
I can't believe how good she's being. My dog would be like all over the place.
Yeah.
Cool. So now that like you've had a taste of theater, what are some shows you would like to see at Colonial, either like direct or like a part you'd really like to play? I know A Few Good Men. That's like, I feel like it's every male actor's dream to be a part of that play. Like, oh, Jack Nicholson, Tom Cruise was such a great movie, and you get to like, be a Marine. But like, what are some other shows you would like to see at Colonial, or just work on in general?
That's a good question too. And honestly, I can't give an answer to that because I'm relatively, like I said, when I got involved in theater, I had no idea. Like it wasn't something that I ever imagined myself being involved in. So there's so many shows out there that I'm like unaware of. I'm still kind of, I've been involved with Colonial for a while now. I've done some stuff at Spotlight and helped out with Players Club as well. but there's so many shows out there, and I have no idea like where. There was rumors about Jess was talking about maybe doing The Notebook.
That's a play?
Well, apparently it was done as a musical.
Really? Okay, I didn't know that.
So
wow.
if that was available and that could be done, that's something that I would love to do.
Do you sing?
I do not. So it would have to be a regular play because I could not hold it.
Okay.
That would not be a good thing. And my dream would be, now this is completely outside of the box. It's my favorite movie, The Exorcist.
Oh my gosh.
It was done on stage in Hollywood, in California.
Oh my gosh.
I think Brooke Shields was in it.
Get out. What? She was Reagan?
I think she may have been the mother.
Okay.
So as far as the reviews, it didn't go over too well.
Okay.
But I would love to do that. Like I'm more, horror is my genre. I love that. So that would be really cool. That would be something that I would love to do it, maybe like a Halloween time, do something on that theme. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we can make that happen.
That's interesting. Like at the board meeting the other night, they were talking about like a Valentine show. It seems like the past couple of years they've done something Valentine related around there. Like they did the cabaret recently with like love songs around the world. And the year before that was the vagina monologues. It would be really cool to do a Halloween event, don't you think? Like do a sort of horror play, or I don't know, make Colonial into a haunted theater for a weekend.
Yeah. There's some theaters that do. I know Barnstormers.
Okay.
They've done Evil Dead, the musical.
Oh gosh.
And they did that, and they did something, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the musical. So they kind of have that, but they have the market cornered in that. And I'm like, that would be really cool if maybe Colonial could do something. But I know with the scheduling, as far as like the Christmas shows and everything, I guess the timing is a little bit difficult to fit in. But that, me personally, that would be right on my alley. I would love to do it.
Yeah. Even if it was just like, a one night thing or like a one weekend thing, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do you, okay, I'm going to change this question a little bit. What song, when it comes on in your car, do you just have to jam out to?
Oh, wow. Pretty much everything. My musical taste is like so eclectic. I'm just gonna go with something that was just stuck, that just popped in my head. Probably U2, where the streets have no name.
Oh, yes.
So, or I still haven't found what I'm looking for. I'm a huge U2 fan, so that just popped right in my head. So I don't know.
Those are good ones. Good ones. I don't know if you remember, it was the Super Bowl.
Oh, yes, after 9/11.
After 9/11, yeah, where they sang that.
It was incredible. It was so moving. That was one of my favorite performances.
Yeah. Oh, that just brought it right back. Yeah. So I see you have little Bella with you.
Yes.
I assume you're a dog person. Like, did you have other dogs growing up?
No, she's my first dog.
Is she really?
Yeah, she's my first dog. She's about 10 years old.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was a petless child growing up.
Yeah, I was always a cat kid, and then my husband was a dog person, so we settled on a toy poodle, like a cat-sized dog. Yeah. That was our first dog, and he was just awesome. I can't get over how good she is. Oh my gosh, we'll have to get her on stage.
I had a cat momentarily, probably when I was like 14, but it was more so I got it for a girlfriend.
Okay.
She wanted a cat, so and it was a few days before Christmas, so I had to keep her at my place.
Okay.
And that was a nightmare.
Oh no.
It was a nightmare, and my mom was like, "Get rid of this thing." So that was the first experience with having a pet, which was not a good one. And she's a great dog.
Yeah, you lucked out. You lucked out with your first dog.
Yeah, I did. I really did.
So Tommy, you're from Delco, right? You're from around here?
Originally from Southwest.
Okay. So you're a transplant.
I am. I grew up in the city. I lived there until I was like 19. And then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, went to high school in South Philadelphia. and then moved out here, and I've just kind of bounced all over Delco,
Mm.
Collingdale, Drexel Hill now, Glen Olden. I lived in Broomall for a year. So I'm kind of bouncing all around, but
Wow,
yeah,
you've been all over Delco.
I've been here long enough and all over the place. I guess I can be considered a Delco, an official Delconian or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, yeah. So what would you, so you actually grew up somewhere else and then came here.
Yeah.
Delco's an interesting place. You know, I left for, I grew up around here, but I left for 9 years and then I came back because I just missed it and loved it so much. I love to make fun of it, but I really do love it. So like, how would you explain this place? How would you explain Delco to an outsider? Like, what's so special about it?
I don't even know. I couldn't even. That's a really tough question. I don't know. I really can't answer that. I would think I would probably be better served answering saying, "What about the city?" As
Okay.
opposed
Yeah.
to Delco.
So tell us about that.
And then there's no offense to people that grow up in Delco and all those things, but growing up in the city, I just had a place in my heart. I would love to live back there. The energy, everything about the city, you know, the close proximity of the people, just sitting out on the stoop with, you know, your neighbors and, you know, telling neighborhood stories or whatever the case may be. And there's just so much culture and everything in the city, and Philadelphia really over the past several years has just gone through the roof as far as, you know, with restaurants, the architecture and real estate, all that stuff. It's just, it's been such a great turnaround. Like, I love the city. I would love to move back, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
It's so expensive now, right? I feel like
it really is. It really is. Not only, I mean, it has its, you know, the taxes are a little bit cheaper out there than they are out here in Delco. But as I'm getting, I love the energy of the city, but as I'm getting a little bit older, I'm kind of like, now I kind of want to be off on my own. Like, I don't like the congestion and the hustle and bustle as much. So I can appreciate that about Delco. You know, you have more space. You don't have to worry about parking as much. So yeah, so I don't really know that I'm equipped to answer the uniqueness of Delaware County.
Well, no, I like that instead, because I feel like so many people in Delco never really left. So they don't know anything else. So yeah, no, that's a great answer. I'm with you. I miss the stoop culture. Growing up, I always had a stoop out front, and even the first house we bought around here, we had a stoop, and now I don't, and I really miss that. Like, everyone's in their backyards. There's no like hanging on the stoop.
There's something about growing up in the city. I feel you were more connected to your neighbors. Moving out here, you know, the houses are spaced. Not all. I mean, there's definitely some areas. I mean, my mom lives in a row home in Glen Olden now, so it's, you know, it's almost like living back in the city. But you know, there's so much space and everything out here, and I don't know. It just doesn't. It's a little bit more. You're a little bit more to your own. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different.
Yeah. What were you like in high school?
What was I like in high school? I don't really know. I wasn't the jock. I wasn't Mr. Popular. I guess I was kind of like somewhere in the middle. You know, I didn't have any enemies. I never got in any fights or picked on or bullied. You know, I wasn't a bully, anything like that. I was just kind of friendly with everybody, got along with people, but I kind of kept to myself. So I had a small group of friends that, you know, some of them I still have to this day. And I don't know. I was more of just kind of like marching to my own beat. You know, I was really into music when I was a kid. So I always thought I would be my career would be something in the music industry.
Well, you're on stage. You made it on stage.
Yeah, not quite the same, but it's, you know, it's similar.
Did you play music growing up?
No, I did not. I wanted to DJ, actually.
Okay.
DJ, and I wanted to be in the music business. Like, I wanted to start my own label and, you know, find unsigned artists and all that stuff.
Yeah. What would you say if you could go back to your high school self? Whether it's advice or just like look out for this, like if you could go back and say something to that 17-year-old Tommy, what would it be?
Huh. I would probably say get on that plane to go to Tempe, Arizona. There was a school out there that it was called the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences, and um, it had to do with teaching all the ins and outs of the music business, music engineering, music production, all that stuff. And as a 17, 18-year-old kid, I was a little bit intimidated, and I didn't go. I got accepted and didn't go.
Yeah.
And because I had a friend of mine who wanted to go as well, he didn't get accepted. So I was kind of like, that was my excuse, I guess,
Huh.
to not go. But that would be the first thing. And there's probably a few girls that I would have stayed away from. I would tell myself, all right, don't date that person. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. If you could grant 3 wishes for Colonial, what would they be?
3 wishes for Colonial. Um, more publicity, a more noticeable sign, I guess, of it, because Colonial's kind of, if you could drive by there and not even know it's there.
I did. I almost missed my first audition there because
Yeah.
I was like, this is somebody's house. What's going on?
So I guess my first wish, I would make it more recognizable.
Okay.
2, more seats. 3, more comfortable seats.
That's a good one. That's always, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
So the whole reason we're talking to each other on the computer and not face to face is because of this lovely quarantine we're enduring, going through. So how's it been going for you? Like, what are you doing to kind of keep yourself sane?
Well, I guess if you want to look at it and say I'm fortunate enough to still be working, which, I guess I am, but it's also scary being out there. So I have that at least. And after that, nothing, which is kind of driving me a little bit crazy. So I saw this was really cool that Colonial was doing. Luckily we just started this Zoom rehearsal for the next show. So that'll kind of give me something to do. And this is kind of like really drained the energy out of me because I'm like, I want to kind of get out and go see some friends, go to a restaurant, go to a bar, go to a show. There were so many concerts and everything this summer I was looking forward to, sports, everything like I'm missing. So it's just kind of like drained the energy out of me. And I'm just kind of like sitting around, like I go to work and after that come home and just go through my Netflix and play with my dog. And that's about it.
Do you have any good, what's that?
I wish I could say I was taking this time to use in a more positive way, but I've just been completely fell off my diet. All of those things, like I'm just like, whatever.
But you know what? It's not like we're choosing to work from home. I think when we first went into quarantine, a lot of people were like, this is your chance to pick up a new hobby, to teach yourself the guitar, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, there's like a serious crisis going on.
Yeah.
So I think if you can just make it through the day and, try to keep yourself healthy, however that looks. And, I think a lot of people are saying, how are you keeping yourself healthy? And they're like, oh, I'm, jogging or doing this, but mentally healthy.
Yeah.
I think we really need to talk about that too. Like, what are you doing to keep yourself mentally healthy? And it's like, maybe it's turn off the news. Maybe it's, just shut off the computer. Cause we're on front of the computer all the time and, play with your pet.
Well, that's definitely something, because when this all first went down, of course, I'm sure I was just like everybody else that was like really glued to the TV to see what was going on. And not to make light of the situation or anything, like one of the guys I work with was sick. My aunt was sick. So I know several people that have come down with it.
Wow.
But I'm getting to the point where I'm just kind of over it. And, I just want to kind of continue on with life. I mean, because I feel as though at this point we're going to have to find some new norm
Mm-hmm.
to function with this.
Yeah.
Because me personally, I don't think it's going to be going away anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't think it's healthy for us to be sitting in and not being productive, not living life.
Right, right. But you are being productive. You're working on A Few Good Men over at Spotlight, directed by Jess Stinson.
Yeah.
Just gave him some free publicity.
Yeah.
So, Tommy had a rehearsal earlier that was at on Zoom. So tell us about that. You guys auditioned in person, and did you start in person?
No, so we had I forget exactly when the auditions were. Maybe December, I'll say. I don't remember. It's been a little while. So we had the auditions in person,
Mm-hmm.
and we were scheduled to start rehearsing, and then this kind of all started to happen, and then I started to see, Colonial had a show that was supposed to debut, and that got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Other theaters were shutting down, and then Jess was kind of like getting bits and pieces of, I guess, how to deal with this thing, and then we pushed it back. So we were supposed to open in June.
Okay.
And as far as I know, we're going to be opening in December now, but I'm not exactly sure on that. So everything's still up in the air a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm glad to see a lot of shows that were like just about to open, or maybe had like one show, instead of just canceling them, they're like, well, we have the cast, we have the team, we're just going to push it back and we'll do it next year. I've seen a lot of theaters do that. In fact, the school where I teach drama, that's what we're hopefully doing. Our musical is pushed back to November, the one we were supposed to do in the spring. And I think it gives you some hope, like, okay, like this isn't just shut down, this isn't killing everything. I mean, I feel so bad for our seniors right now, kids who are seniors in high school or college, like that's just done. I mean,
I feel so bad. And I actually bartend part-time at a retirement home.
Oh gosh.
So, they haven't had me, I haven't been there in, a month and a half, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I can only imagine how difficult it is for them. And I really miss being there because I really love a lot of the residents there.
Yeah.
So I've been in contact with some other coworkers asking how everyone's doing. And luckily, at Dunwoody where I work, they haven't had too many cases.
Okay.
So there's been a few, but
Mm-hmm.
I think they have 500 employees and residents combined. And I think maybe there's been 5 to 8, something like along those line, cases confirmed. So it's really, they're blessed. Like everything is going as smoothly as possible over there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a shame because I've been bartending there for about 2 years now. And it's funny because people are always like, they drink like at a time. Like they're not dead,
Right?
They're still people. But it's such a different energy and different vibe. Obviously, they're not getting crazy and dancing all over the place and doing shots and this, all that stuff. But just having conversations with people that have, lived life like and gone through so many different things.
Yeah.
It's really cool and just amazing residents there. Like, and I really miss them. So that kind of sucks. But,
yeah. I was going to say the stories they must have are just incredible.
Oh yeah. There's definitely some interesting stories. and some cat fights occasionally, over politics and stuff. So it's funny.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And just like Colonial.
Yeah. Just like Colonial.
Well, I have one last question for you. What is the first thing you're going to do once we're in the clear? Once, we're allowed out and maybe things aren't back to normal, but we're allowed to go about our business. What's the first thing you're going to do?
Well, I'll be turning 40 in June.
Oh,
so
congratulations.
Hopefully, the plan was to go on a cruise or a flight or something like that for for my 40th. I don't know that that's going to happen. I know they extended it to June 4th, maybe we'll get lucky and something will happen and some things will get lifted and we'll be allowed to, step back out into public a little bit more freely than what we have now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, I guess, there's definitely, it sucks. I haven't been able to see, one of my best friends just had a baby. I haven't been able to really go over there to see, and it's just more so, I just want to be safe. Like I get nervous even being around people, especially, like I said, a guy that I work with came down with it. So like I had a quarantine for a week.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be, it'll be nice maybe just to have a nice big gathering, a barbecue, something, maybe even a show. I don't know. We'll see. Whatever this COVID-19 allows us to do first. I guess, I don't even know. It's tough I can't even wrap my head around everything because like I'm a little bit of a germaphobe as it is. So I'm actually reluctant to go out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I don't know. Hopefully, like I said, we'll be able to have a nice barbecue or something and just a good group of people and some music, some beers.
That sounds good. I'm there.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, well, cool. Thank you so much, Tommy. I really appreciated getting to know you a little better.
Yes, thank you so much for the interview.
Yeah.